And we are moving on to the Boston Red Sox. Now, I don't know, our audience leans Yankees, obviously, because Jake and I are Yankees fans and started this. And I don't know what the polling for all this stuff happened at a different time. Yeah. I have no idea. But
Before Trevor Story.
There you go. The Red Sox finished 92-70 last year. They lost in the ALCS. They were supposed to just be in seeing what we got and rebuilding and all. Not like full rebuild, but retooling, I guess, regrouping. And they were awesome. They had an identity. They had fun. They had consistency. I was very jealous as a Yankees fan of the way the team felt. And now they went out and they supplement it. And I don't think we got to give Heim that much time anymore, Trev. Jake, can you tell us what they did, what Heim did this offseason?
So they did lose some stuff, man. Kyle Schwarber came over. He was having fun in the playoffs. He had a huge year. He's in Philly. Erod, man, a mainstay of that rotation for a long time. He's now in Detroit. Hunter Renfroe's a Brewer. Ottavino's a Met. Jose Iglesias, remember that? He was good for them, but he couldn't play in the playoffs. He's a Rocky. Garrett Richards, Martin Perez, Danny Santana, still a free agent, who they added. Trevor Story highlights it. All-world middle infielder. He's going to play some second base for him. That's going to be an interesting storyline. Jackie Bradley Jr. returns. They signed some pitchers that they just want to get innings from. Michael Wacha and Rich Hill. Jake Diekman in the pen. Circle that one. I think he could be very important to their season. Big game, James Paxton is coming off TJ. He'd have to be around at the later part of the year. We'll see if he has an impact on the season. And then some MLB dudes floating around, Matt Strahm, Travis Shaw, Hansel Robles, a couple minor league deals at the end there. So the Red Sox retooled a little bit around their core. And why wouldn't you? Because some of those core pieces are awesome. Trev, tell me about the rotation and give me some feeling, because I don't know. I have mixed emotions.
I feel like that's how you should feel.
Okay.
Your gut is right on, as usual. It's sticking out a little bit. It's feeling around and hit right on the button right there. Nathan Eovaldi, he's in my book. He's going to lead the rotation. Nick Pavetta, full pension piv right behind him. I think he really found some confidence in the playoffs last year that I hope transfers over into this season. Tanner Houck made 13 starts from last year, did really well for them. And like you said, Wacha and Rich Hill come in to eat up some innings. The big question mark here is Sale. He has like a stress fracture in his rib. That doesn't feel good. Got to rest that. I'm not exactly sure when he's going to be there, but it won't be for opening day. The bullpen, really good. How about that? How's your gut saying about the bullpen? Okay, we got Matt Barnes. Solid. Jake Diekman came over. Garrett Whitlock was awesome. Yeah, came over from the Yankees. You guys know him. Little dagger right there. Brazier. I can never pronounce that name. Brazier. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Strahm from the Padres. He likes to open up baseball cards. Actually, that's not the right guy I'm talking about.
Okay.
Is it? I think he's a different guy. And a bunch of other guys round out their bullpen. Pitching staff for me, 6 or 7 out of 10. James, what about that lineup, though? I think you're going to rank a little bit higher.
The lineup is very consistent with what it was last year. Last year, the mainstays, you got returning Devers at third base, J.D. Martinez DHing, Verdugo in left, Xander at short, Vasquez behind the dish, Dahlback at first base. You got Kike Hernandez bouncing around in the outfield now. It was him and Renfroe last year. It's him and JBJ this year. And then at second base, they really didn't know what was going on. They went through a platoon of guys. And now they have Trevor Story, who they signed and will be playing second base. So swap Renfroe for JBJ, and it's a minus offensively, but it's a plus defensively. And then swap, Marwin Gonzalez, Christian Arroyo, whoever else was over there, Iglesias, Jack Lopez, for Trevor Story. So they have a good lineup. They lineup got better because Renfroe plus the slog at second is less than Story and JBJ, in my opinion. Especially when you do the full offensive profile and you have Story who can steal backs. So that's the lineup. It's a pretty good lineup. That's their plus for sure.
Let me put some respect on Brazier's name because he had a 1.5, 12 innings last year, but a 1.5. Let me put some respect on her name, bro. I'm sorry.
Now, as a confused puppy, no need.
Okay. Crooked. These are the Boston Red Sox. Cora, I'm sure we'll talk about him, another manager that deserves to be talked about in this. The lineup. I didn't realize my guy Bobby Dahlbach, he hit 25 ding-dongs last year in 133 games, his first full season of baseball. If he takes a step up and we're adding another fearsome bat to the lineup.
Remember when we did the unit draft, you said something about him not being great, but I thought he had a great year.
He finished very strong.
He finished strong. I mean, for a first full season, it's a good year. I think the expectations were a little high because his sample size in 2020 was really good. He had a 959 OPS. So last year, 792, a 105 OPS plus. You're playing in Fenway. You get a couple extra dongers. I'm interested, dude, if he takes a next step, I mean, whoa. Because you're going Kike, Devers, Bogarts, Martinez, Verdugo, Story, Dahlbach. And that's where JBJ and Christian Vasquez do what you guys do. Be pesky at the plate at times and do your thing on defense. And it's come together for Boston in previous years. When it does, it is a beautiful thing. That lineup, man, especially the heart of it. When Devers, Bogarts, and JD are rolling, you're just in hell. Never mind when Verdugo's right or Kike's right. Now Trevor Story. The pitching, I have question marks. I think it's genuine and fair. But Boston and Cora, when they get it rolling, they seem to find a way.
Nick Pavetta is the wild card here, or the X factor, I'll say.
I think so.
I think you know what you're going to get out of Eovaldi. I think he'll be streaky. He'll have some really, really good runs. He might have a few bad starts here and there. Pavetta kind of has been the same way, but he is a guy that believes in himself, but the results haven't been there. And then he had some, like I said, some really good outings in the postseason, and that could flip something for a player. Like that stuff that, hey, I think I'm good, but then when you're good and can really do it in those pressure moments, that can translate. So I think if he comes out and he's like as good as people have consistently told me he is. Remember, in the Phillies, they said this guy could win multiple Cy Youngs. Now, obviously, I don't think that's the case, but when you're speaking that highly about someone, when there's smoke, there's fire. So he has some potential in him. If he goes out and fulfills that to even 80%, then we're talking about a much stronger rotation. Then we get Chris Sale coming back in. Tanner Houck still doing his thing. Then we start to see some depth there. We can dream upon it, Jake. I love the dream. Sometimes you can dream just by eating some chocolate during the day.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
What do you think?
Heavy.
I mean,
yeah.
Say it, baby. Let your heart be free.
The lineup's scary because I think they can beat you in a lot of different ways. And that's fun. I don't like the pitching, but I like it against the Yankees. How about that? Like, against the rest of the league, I don't know. I wouldn't love it. But the Yankees can't hit these guys, so that's good for them. They play the Yankees a lot. Like, if you showed me that this was like the Twins rotation or the White Sox rotation in another league, I think I'd be like, it can be great. It can be really good. I think they're definitely going to need a 6 and a 7, but Yanks can't hit these guys at all. So, fuck me, right? I think they're like, I was looking at Waka and Hill, shocked how many starts they made. Hill made 31 starts last year. Michael Waka made like 25 or something like that. I don't know how good they were. Rich Hill's better than his ERA. The innings aren't there, but he gave the Mets like a winning effort as a starter every night, basically. I was going through that stuff trying to find some hope, and then instead I found more like, God, I hope the Yankees don't get beat by these guys nonstop.
Yeah. Circle Houck and Pavetta, Trev. I think you're around it. Houck has all the arm talent and arm angle you can want from a young pitcher. Pavetta with the postseason. If one of those guys takes a leap and is a dude, like pen Boston into the playoffs. Pen Boston into the playoffs because the lineup will be there day in, day out. It's how much how much they can pitch in this brutal division. And we're going to be saying this basically for the next 3 teams is going to depend if you're an 85 or a 95 win team. The AL East is brutal. And if Pavetta, if they're both guys and Sale bounces back, you're talking about probably the AL East champ, Boston Red Sox. If Sale has an injury-riddled year and, Pavetta plays more towards his career stats, then, I think you have a chance of Boston being an 86-win team that just tries to out-hit you every day. And a lot of days they will. But that's a tough way to live or die. So we'll see. We'll see. And, man, when the summer hits and that team's rolling and winning games and Cora's yelling at the other team, I mean, it's fucking poetry in motion for those Red Sox fans. And it's been driving us nuts for a couple years now.
Does Heim know it's time?
Mm.
Is he out there looking at those A's pitchers right now? Like every single other organization is? Do they add that? Now you start talking about a different team. If you're bringing in a Montas or a Minaya, you're talking about much more depth there. Pavetta also made 30 starts. So they have guys that can eat innings. But to add another effective starter, for instance, here, Sports Illustrated wrote an article, and you want to hear the headline?
Yeah.
I just Googled Red Sox starting pitching to see what was out there. I like to see kind of what's out there in the world on the internet. Ever heard of it? Red Sox hopes depend on news story, same meh rotation. So we're in tune with what people are thinking, although I'm probably a little bit bigger believer in the rotation because I'm going to give Pavetta, I'm going to say he's going to do a lot better this year. I can see him being in the 3s this year.
The only thing I'd say there, Fenway your ERA is going to go up a little bit at Fenway. So, I mean, a low 4 at Fenway is high 3s. So that's the only add there. Hey, Schwarber was there. He was hurt, and then he played part of the season. This Red Sox team finished 3rd in OPS last year. They added Trevor Story. Renfroe had a nice year, and that's the Jackie Bradley swap, but this team's stacked. The lineup is stacked.
And I like Cora, and he's never had a losing season. I do think the floor and the ceiling here is win the division or finish 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people will say that.
I mean, if this is the first episode you're listening to, we're talking floor and ceiling. I don't want Red Sox fans to be all up in arms about it.
We will say the same about the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees, and I think the Blue Jays, but I don't think the Rays.
I don't think the Jays. I
don't think the Jays are 4 in the division. 2 minutes on the clock. 85.5 is the over/under.
Over.
Where are we landing?
Over.
Over. Easily for you guys. Really?
Over.
They just get rolling, man. I feel like those dog days of summers belong to the Red Sox. And I don't know why. They just beat us down a little bit. They're so consistent sometimes when the offense is going. And I mean, I pull up, whatever. I've done this rant a lot. I pull up the batting order that Corey uses all the time and just get so jealous. Because I think it's just the same. It's just whatever.
TK, Devers, Bogarts, JD.
Yeah. I mean, is Verdugo too last year, but it is when it's rolling, they just roll it. Where the Yankees,
you love that.
Switch it no matter what. If the Yankees are winning, they switch the lineup. If they're losing, and I just love the rinse and repeat that he does in that style. Want to know why?
I forgot
because it fucking works. You hated
that so much,
and all the teams that do it win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every big leaguer I ever ask, is it important to have a consistent lineup and know who you're hitting in front of and behind every day? They say yes.
So you guys are over 40 seconds on the clock for the Red Sox. This is going to be the same as the NL East, where there's a bunch of teams jumbled up there. 85 wins is not going to get him in the playoffs. I'm going to take the under.
Really?
I like the teams I like the Rays and the Jays much more. The Yankees, I'm about to find out. But I'm going to take the under here. I think it might end up being a 500 ball club, just because the pitching has some question marks. But again, ceiling is there. The ceiling is there. I'm not saying they can't, people, but I have to choose some unders.
I mean, that's the thing with this AL East. We're at some point, all of us are going to have to pick an under on a really good baseball team. So if this is yours, that's fine. There's not a lot of Utes on the way. Tristan Casas is kind of their big prospect. He's expected like next year. Marcelo Mayer is also a good one, but he's a 2025 guy. So if they do have to go out and chase, other teams might have stuff a little more MLB ready. But we'll see.
Where's Jeter Downs? I put my hands on this kid. What?
Nice, dude.
Nothing. You know what the Red Sox have going for them? They have like the luck factor. They just like they'll win the close game, and they'll win the games that you feel like they should lose.
Ted Lasso, believe.
Yeah.
They got Cora.
Yeah, just the same.
26 and 18 in 1-run games last year.
You touched Jeter Downs?
I did.
Timer's up.
Timer's up.
Rooting for you.
Outplayed their Pythagorean theorem, all that shit. All right. Moving on.